Do we really have to go to the serious thing about Tulsi Gabbard now?
Oh, now I'm
Yes.
sad.
All right. Let's
Okay,
do it.
fine, I guess.
This one actually kind of bugs me out. Tulsi Gabbard drops a defamation suit against Hillary Clinton.
See, now I was making jokes about this months ago. Like when her documentary dropped, Biden said, "I'm gonna pick a woman VP," and I was like, "Oh my gosh, he's gonna pick Hillary."
Adam spoke it into existence.
He's gonna pick Hillary, guys. I'm just joking. Haha, that's funny, right?
It's Adam's fault.
You manifested it, bro.
Oh no, what did I do?
What have you done?
There was an article in the Hill saying that there was going to be like a Hillary Obama ticket or something.
Yeah.
I saw that.
Like the convention would fall apart, Joe Biden would sunset or something. And then, I mean, look. The
What, like Hillary and Michelle
or Hillary and Barack
as a VP?
Yep.
Is that legal?
I don't know, but that's what they were arguing. And it's like there have been a ton. So first and foremost, right? They keep putting out these stories like she's running because they know it gets clicks when they do it.
Yeah.
You know, and so I've actually backed off from making this kind of content. That's why I didn't do it. I didn't do a standard news segment for my other channel on this.
Okay.
Because I'm like, dude, there's been so much speculation about this. Like I've been roped into. Like a story will pop up and be like, Hillary does these things. She may be running, and then I'll do a video about it and be like, oh man. And then I'm like, this is just clickbait. Like I'm there. You know, I bring this up, fairly often. Like I can tell that some stories are written with the intent of getting people like me to show the article and be like, whoa. So I'm conscious of that. If I do a segment like that, I'll point it out. Like I know they're trying to bait me into talking about their content or their platform or whatever.
Yeah.
But I gotta admit, this one's weird.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
I'm weird.
I'm a big fan of Tulsi, right?
We know.
And Andrew, look, in the end, I was more for Andrew Yang than Tulsi.
Yeah.
Now I think the Democrats are just a waste of time, and unfortunately, I think this just adds to it.
Yep. This is leading right into what I was saying.
Yeah.
So Tulsi was suing Hillary Clinton because she said that Hillary was like a Russian asset. Let's read it. Fox News reports Rep. Tulsi Gabbard dropped her defamation suit against Hillary Clinton Wednesday, ending a brief legal battle over comments made by the former Secretary of State, suggesting the Congresswoman has ties to Russia. Gabbard filed the $50 million lawsuit after Clinton said in an October 2019 interview that one of the Democratic presidential contenders was the favorite of the Russians and a Russian asset. Gabbard, who served in the Army National Guard, was a presidential candidate at the time. She's currently a major, isn't she? She's not out, is she?
I thought she's reserves. Could be wrong.
Reserves?
I think so.
I don't know.
Let me look.
Yeah.
But she's still serving, isn't she?
Yeah. She was a major. Clinton didn't mention Gabbard by name, but her spokesman later said, if the nesting doll fits. In a court filing, Gabbard's lawyers dismissed the legal action. While they remain certain of the action's legal merit, they are just as certain that this new COVID and post-COVID world require them to focus their time and attention on other priorities, including defeating Donald Trump in 2020. Rather than righting the wrongs here, the attorney said, according to The Hill. The lawsuit contended that Clinton had no basis for making her false assertions. Gabbard claimed the former 2016 candidate had a unique personal connection to Tulsi that animates her hostility toward Tulsi in her presidential campaign. She also claimed that Clinton's hostility stemmed from her support for Senator Bernie Sanders in 2016. Clinton was extremely angry, to put it mildly, that Tulsi endorsed Senator Sanders over her. All right. The first thing is, let's be calm, rational, and reasonable people. Tulsi may have just dropped this because the suit was bunk. Like, there you go.
And yet, it's literally saying right here that it isn't bunk. It's not bunk. It's,
well, of course.
We have legal merit for these actions.
Saving face.
I don't know. That doesn't seem like they would throw that in there then, if that's the case.
Saying someone is the favorite of the Russians is clear opinion.
Right.
And saying that she was a Russian asset is, I would say it's not clear, but it is opinion.
So what was the whole point of doing it in the first place? Opening the suit against Hillary?
Press? Yeah, this is one of the biggest complaints I had about Tulsi is that she leaned too hard into these, like Hillary Clinton. Like Hillary Clinton called her an asset.
Yeah.
Tulsi made this epic takedown tweet calling her. What did she call her? Can you pull it up? That was amazing.
Yeah, I'll find it.
So Tulsi called Hillary like a warmonger.
Yeah.
What did she call it?
Queen of Scum or something.
The Queen of Scum. Yeah.
It was
pull
really
it up.
spicy.
All right, I'm looking. It was a bomb. It was a nuke, and it was a tactical nuke. So now, there's a few things we can say. The suit was for PR. A lot of people thought it was just to generate press because it did get her name out there. I thought that was a bad idea. I always tell people these kinds of drama attacks are not good for like trying to generate prestige or merit behind your name.
Okay.
So but maybe not. Maybe
you think Hillary paid her to do this? Here.
It's possible.
Take some money.
Yeah.
And drop the suit.
100%.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm not saying I believe 100%. I'm saying it's is it possible? Yes, absolutely possible that happened. So we just saw James Damore, who was suing Google for discrimination against conservatives, white people, and I think Asians.
Okay.
He dismissed his own suit. His lawyer, who's I believe was Harmeet K. Dillon, who's like a very prominent lawyer, and they submitted saying we're gonna end this case, and everyone was like, that's weird. And so my speculation is it's a way of settling without having the opponent, the defendant, admit defeat. So this case could literally be because Hillary Clinton went to Tulsi and they were like, we'll give you $1 million, and then but you have to dismiss the case because a settlement is our admission of guilt.
Right.
So then they go and say, okay, we're done. And the Donald Trump thing is an easy excuse.
Exactly.
It's an easy
the
out.
Easiest. Yeah, for sure.
Or maybe
you can't have a lawsuit over Hillary Clinton's defamation if she's going to be grabbing the nomination at the last minute.
That's what I was thinking.
If the strategy of the Democrats has been to have Joe Biden be a shield, to placehold, and absorb all of the brunt of all the negative attacks and all the cash.
Yep.
And then at the last minute, he falls down some stairs or hits his head or...
Wait. Excuse me. Falls down some stairs.
Okay,
Right.
in his case, it might be like actually falling down. All
right,
It just makes it more plausible.
I'm
That's
just
all.
saying,
Exactly.
if he's an old man and he can't run anymore, and then they're like, who do we have? And everyone goes, yay, Hillary. Tulsi Gabbard can't scream yay, Hillary if she's suing her for defamation.
Right.
And more importantly, if they're trying to avoid the negative press, this would pop up immediately.
Yeah,
Right.
this is really weird.
Quashed,
Suspect, yo.
wiped
Yeah.
away. It could also be much more simple than that. Just like Hillary Clinton's camp, they were like, okay, so when Hillary officially takes the nomination in September, what are our liabilities? And this Tulsi Gabbard suit's a liability. Ask her what she wants.
Yep.
And then they negotiated, and they cut a big paycheck.
Come up with something. Yeah.
But it depends. If you think Tulsi has principles behind her, and I don't like this. To be fair,
Agreed. I don't like
though,
it either.
I mean, Tulsi may have just run out of money.
Maybe.
It's also
Yeah.
that simple. That her lawyers are like, here's your bill, $30,000 for all the paperwork we've done so far. And then she's like, I can't do this. We need to cut it.
Yeah.
So how much to draft it? We're walking away from this.
That makes sense too.
She's out of the race. She's not running for re-election.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what her plan is moving forward. So I guess the more fun question is, moving on from the Tulsi Gabbard stuff, will Hillary Clinton be running?
No.
You mentioned something about her appearing.
Yeah. Right as soon as Biden said, I'm going to pick a woman, I was like, oh man, I'm making a joke, blah, 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 haha, Hillary. And then the next day I see her face, and when I turn the TV on, it's just like a big Hillary face. I'm like, what the heck is this? Oh, her brand new documentary just dropped. It's like, oh, of course.
And a book.
And then, she's got a book deal. And then a month later, she's hosting a town hall meeting with Joe
Yeah.
Biden and does all the talking. And I'm
hold
like,
on.
what is going on here?
She also did a fundraiser without Joe that broke a record.
For what?
What
was the fundraising
for the DNC and like it was like only. So I was reading, and I could be wrong about this because I don't have the article pulled up, but it was something like it was a joint DNC plus like super PAC thing, meaning there was no spending limit, and so they ended up raising millions of dollars.
Wow.
Where if it was a direct thing with Joe Biden, then you have a limit from the federal election.
I see.
Rule laws.
Right, because she's not actually running right now.
That's another thing that people don't understand about why they don't say they're running. Right now, you could go to Goldman Sachs or some bank and say that you can privately tell them, I really think I'm going to run. It'd be great if I had you in my corner. Wink.
Wink, wink.
And then they go, would you like to do a paid speaking gig where we pay you $10 million to speak to our employees? And you go, that would be great. Thank you. I will speak to your employees for $10 million. And then you shake hands, and then they like go on the intercom, and they're like, Jerry, come down to room 17-5. And then you're like, how's it going? Yeah, what's up? All right, we're good. And you walk out, and they go, here's your $10 million. And then the next day, you announce your run.
Yikes.
And that was totally legal. I mean, I'm really exaggerating here.
Right.
But that's what Hillary was accused of. Like, everyone knew she was going to run, and she was doing a round of speaking engagements that paid hundreds of thousands of
This is
dollars.
back in like 2015, right?
Yeah.
I remember.
I mean,
that.
there's also the fact that, like, dude, you know what, man? How stupid is it that you can be working for the federal government, like the State Department, and have a foundation that accepts money from foreign interests?
That's really weird.
It's like bribery right in
agreed.
front of our faces.
Yeah.
I don't like
Blatant.
Dude. And yeah, the funny thing is when she lost, the Clinton Foundation donations like tanked.
Oh, really?
We all knew what that was for.
Yep.
And I talked to my friends about it who like voted for, and I'm like, don't you have any questions about, like, okay, for all I know, it's legitimate, whatever. I don't care. The point is, like, why are foreign governments donating millions of dollars to her foundation while she's Secretary of State or whatever?
Yeah, I don't
And
like it.
you know what the response I get from all these lefties is?
What?
Huh?
They don't
Huh?
know anything
They
about
don't know.
it.
They don't even know about it.
Anything about
And
it.
I'm like,
what a surprise.
If I told you that was the case, would that strike you as odd?
That all I can think of
I
is
don't know.
we were talking about the left just reads the left stuff
Yeah.
instead
they're-
of
they're
being
they're
aware
protected.
of everything that's happening.
Right.
It's like that.
Doing research, right?
It's like that 4chan meme where they said any sufficiently free speech, like unmoderated platform becomes right wing because the left relies on a very carefully crafted narrative to protect
Curated.
them.
Yeah.
Like I think a really good example of this is just like I tweeted about new footage came out in the George Floyd case that shows he wasn't resisting, at least in the way people would assume for sure.
Yeah.
And someone tweeted at me, "This must be hard for you."
What?
That's the world they live in. I'm like, bro, I'm like hardcore liberty, free speech. If the government's violating someone's constitutional rights, I get mad about it.
Right.
Yeah. What?
Like, what are you
It's not
doing?
hard for you.
where
at all.
where do they get their information from?
It's just an assumption of they live in this world that isn't reality. And even when I tweeted something, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, bro, I just put out a tweet, got like 1,500 retweets showing this guy being arrested, not resisting.
Yep.
It's
Messed up.
And the response from them is, they're mad at me?
Yeah. What?
Like, you're insulting me? Like, take the win, dude. Like, what do you mean?
Can't take the win.
If you think I'm this villain, shouldn't you just take the win?
Yeah. I don't get it.
That's the world they live in.
Yep.
So you can have Hillary Clinton, you can have Obamagate. The most annoying thing to me, though, is there really are grifters, man. For those that aren't familiar with what a grifter is, they accuse me of being a grifter because I don't like Democrats, and I'm like, yeah, but like I don't. And I talk about it all the time. Like, I think my feelings are rooted in growing up in Chicago
Okay.
and being ripped off by corrupt Democrats all day, every day.
Yeah.
And so, like, Republicans weren't a part of my life. I never cared. They weren't, like, I don't know, whatever. I disagree with you. And so it felt like I was being betrayed by those who were supposed to be, fighting for me.
Yep. That makes sense.
And then it's also a combination of the weird, like, let's just be honest, man. Joe Biden, the everything about the Democrats in the past 5 or 6 years has been just like wacky, insane.
Agreed.
I'll be honest though, Obama really made me angry
Yeah.
because I was like, I'm going to vote for this guy. And then he's like, and then as soon as he gets in office, he's like, the first thing I'm going to do, blow up some kids. And I was like, what? What? Bro, man.
What do you think is the higher percentage of what's going to happen? Hillary becomes a VP, and then Joe Biden dies while in office, or she takes his place as the nominee.
I think
I both are hypotheticals. Not saying that this is going to happen, but what do you think has the higher percentage of what would happen? Which do you think is going to happen
I don't know.
between those two?
If those are the only two choices,
Those are the only two choices you got.
Because I honestly think those are both really, really low.
Oh yeah,
probabilities,
I
right?
agree. The probability of this happening is
I
low.
think she'd take VP, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think she'd replace him as a candidate.
Okay.
Because he's a shield.
It was take the VP and then Biden dies. That was actually
That's part of it.
the first choice.
Yeah.
You got to say the whole thing. You can't.
And then
you
Biden
can't,
dies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't think. If it was between those two, she would take VP and then he would die.
Yeah.
But I don't think so. I think it'll be like a Cheney Bush thing.
Yeah, okay.
Where it's like clearly the VP is pulling the strings and running the show, and you get some. Here's what I said they're going to do. Listen, I want you to imagine this. Joe Biden's in a wheelchair. Okay. They put a blanket on his lap.
Mhm.
His head is down, and he's just like snoring and muttering. And they wheel him in, and he's won. And they bring him to the back room by the sun. And they put him up against the window, and there's a nice little sunbeam on his lap, and he's warm and cozy and falls asleep.
Picturing it.
And then Hillary sits at the Resolute desk.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
it's like
And he just stays asleep the whole time.
right.
Yeah.
I could see that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I picture it.
The dude can't be president. And so it's funny because when we've heard it over and over again from tons of different people about Joe Biden's mental health, from progressives, from conservatives. Everybody knows.
Everybody
does.
Yeah.
If it's like it reminds me of Legend of Zelda. It's a secret to everybody. You remember that saying from the original Zelda game?
Mm-mm.
So
the first one?
The very first Zelda game,
Okay.
there were like certain areas where you could put a bomb in front of like a mountain.
Yeah.
And then you'd walk in and there's like a dude and he says, it's a secret to everybody. And then he gives you money. And it's like a secret way to get rupees for like buying stuff.
Dope.
And I'm like, what that means to me is everyone knows that Biden can't be the president.
Okay.
Yeah.
Except Biden.
I think even he knows.
I don't think he knows.
I think he knows.
Maybe.
But
Biden be slipping, yo.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Like, as much as most of us are open about it, I think all the resistance people, they know it, and they're pretending. And that's what I think. It's like it's a secret to everyone. It's like the secret is that they're planning on stopping out Joe Biden.
Yep.
Everybody knows, but everyone's kind of like looking at each other, shifty-eyed.
Is that like the elephant in the room, basically?
The elephant in the room?
Yeah. So.
No.
The thing that no one
Yeah.
wants to talk about, but
Yeah.
it's so
No.
blaringly
Definitely
obvious.
there.
Kind of, but the elephant in the room is like there's a big problem that no one wants to address.
Like.
It's
Kind of.
how is that not
Yeah,
the same?
that
No.
seems the
This is a
same
pretty
to
big
me.
problem. He
No,
can't
no.
be president.
Yeah.
His mind is
It's
slipping
because
his ass is slipping.
They're putting him there on purpose. That's why I think it's different.
Okay.
Like, but they've propped him up, and it's not. It's kind of like that could maybe work elephant in the room, but I think it's more so that we all know there is a game afoot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
clearly.
And we had that woman, the director of communications, say on what show was that on? Was it Fox? Yeah. It was Bill Hemmer. She said that's his name, right?
I'm not sure. Not sure what you're
Fox
referring to right.
Fox
right
News
now.
is America's Newsroom. Bill Hemmer, is that his
I
name?
think so.
Yeah, Google it.
Yeah.
Thank you, appreciate it. She said, "We are not officially nominating Joe Biden to defeat Donald Trump," and everybody was like, "Whoa,
Oh,
did
yeah.
she just admit it?"
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
what does that mean?
Yeah, what does that mean? So you're
Yeah.
nominating him to defeat himself? To defeat who? He's going against Donald Trump.
Or is she straight up saying we're not choosing Biden to go up against Trump?
Yeah.
She said that the convention must happen
what it
because
sounds like.
we're not officially nominating Joe Biden to defeat Donald Trump. Something like I'm paraphrasing because I don't remember the full quote, but it's something like that.
Yeah.
And so the argument is like, to be fair, maybe she's saying we're not only nominating Joe Biden just to defeat Trump. But why wouldn't she say it that way?
Agreed.
It sounded like she was saying she knows it ain't going to be Biden. And I think deep down we all know it too,
Oh yeah.
especially after the fart. Joe Biden farted.
Yes, in
By the
case
way.
you missed it.
I think deep down we all know, man.
Oh yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I think it's always funny to talk about Hillary Clinton potentially running because everyone hates her guts. But let's be real, man. Everybody hates her.
I know.
Yeah.
What are what are they thinking? What are the Dems thinking?
I don't think it'll be
Do
Hillary.
they think that that's gonna work? Nothing they do, I feel, can work right now.
Dude.
They're backed into a corner. They should just sit in the corner and just stay there for a while and recollect their thoughts.
Let's go back to 2008, right?
Okay.
Barack Obama, celebrity candidate,
Yeah.
charismatic, strong, youthful. Man, he had it. A lot of people really liked this guy. And then he did, really authoritarian like, wow. National Defense Authorization Act, indefinite detention provisions, extrajudicial assassinations,
Yep.
FISA spying. Like, wow, he had it all. Spying on journalists,
Yeah.
prosecuting more whistleblowers
He
than
did
all other
everything.
presidents combined.
Check
And
all
still
boxes.
got all the left to love him the whole
He
time.
got
Well,
reelected.
yeah, but he was a celebrity, right?
Exactly.
And,
yeah.
and they loved it. But think about, so his reelection, Mitt Romney. What is Mitt Romney?
Seriously.
Right? Fart
Right.
noise. So Obama still had it. I think Trump's approval rating is higher than Obama's was at the same time
Okay.
in his first term. But then look at 2016. What did the Democrats have to offer after Obama? It was like, what was it, like Martin O'Malley or something was the guy's name?
Oh gosh, I don't remember.
There was like two people.
Putting me on the
It was like
spot.
two people and Hillary. And then but then Bernie pops up out of nowhere
right.
and created
Yes,
chaos.
I only
That's a good
remember
point.
Bernie.
Yeah.
It's
Bernie
true.
steps up. But even without Bernie, why didn't the Democrats have any nominees? It really felt like in 2008, Hillary was like, look, that people thought she was going to win. And then Obama came in and took it away. So then she gets a role in, Obama's administration. Then come to the 2016 cycle, which includes 2015.
Yeah.
The Democratic candidates were like some randos no one knew or cared about. There was no personality. There was no plan. It was just Hillary.
Yep.
And people hate her.
Yes,
They really do, man. Like the basket of deplorables thing.
I
And
tried to watch her documentary. Me and Ian were talking about it. Like, we need to just force ourselves to watch this and see what it's about. And they the first thing is like, man, everyone hates her. Why? What is it about it? And then they're like, it's such a puff piece. It's insane. I couldn't watch it anymore. I had to shut it off. I was like, I can't do it. I can't do it. Kill me now.
Yeah.
Like we mentioned this the other day where they did the debate between Trump and Hillary, but gender swapped it.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And then man, I watched a clip of it, and seeing the guy be Hillary, I'm like, I don't like him.
I don't like that person.
So what's fascinating is the primary in Michigan.
Yeah.
It was with Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden crushed, sweeping everything.
Mm-hmm.
This is bad news for Trump. The Bernie people thought they would win Michigan because they beat Hillary there last time.
Yep.
But that just shows you how much people really, really hated Hillary.
Well, when you listen to Hillary talk, she talks like someone who feels entitled to everybody's worship almost.
Yeah.
Like, you don't worship me?
Do you know the story?
Yeah, seriously.
Do you know the story about her on some Air Force cargo plane or something?
No, what is it?
There was I don't know the full story, so I could be getting it totally wrong, but I read this somewhere that she's on this Air Force jet or plane or something.
Okay.
And there's a bunch of Air Force servicemen, crewmen. And then she's sitting there reading, and she takes her wine glass and goes and holds it up.
Woo.
And then there's these are military guys. They're I don't know what rank they are, but they're not nobodies, and they're
Yeah.
like, what?
What are you doing?
And then she goes,
Again?
yeah, and apparently the guy came up and refilled her drink for her.
Wow.
So I heard that because some guy wrote a book. I don't know if it's true or not. So fact check me. But I think stories like that we would absolutely want to believe true. But we want to believe it because it really does seem like it fits her personality.
Yeah.
You're like this. You will get me a drink. That's what people don't like about her. But
true.
Look at the primary. What people don't realize is one of the things that got Trump a victory was how much they despised Hillary.
It's true.
Trump won some states by only a few thousand votes. So the people who think that Biden can't win, that hubris, I think things have changed.
Well, his approval rating has gone up. I mean,
Yeah,
I considered myself Democrat for the longest time. I mean, I don't consider myself a Republican,
Right.
but I'm going to vote for Trump. I don't want some rando. I don't want
Hillary.
Biden.
Yeah.
I definitely don't want Hillary.
Yeah.
Man.
So it's
Yeah.
like they got me to change my mind.
I don't like any of them.
Yeah.
I don't mind watching Trump on the TV. It makes me laugh. But as a
Yeah.
president, it's not my choice. Considering now they've placed Biden up against him, now they've actually got you ever play Metal Gear Solid and the exclamation point? That's what happened when they were like Biden. I was like, oh God.
Right.
It's look, Trump, I think.
Or whenever he talks at all. Same thing.
Biden?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Same.
The fart.
Oh my gosh.
It's happening again.
Yeah.
When Trump talks, I laugh. And,
Yeah.
and sometimes I facepalm. Have you seen the Joe Scarborough tweets?
No.
He's been tweeting relentlessly about MSNBC Joe Scarborough. Because in 2000, an intern working for Scarborough was found dead in his office or whatever.
Oh, geez.
A couple months later, he resigns. And it's a big conspiracy, people think it was a cover-up. And I'm just I don't know anything about it, man. I get it. People are concerned about corruption and this guy getting away with it. He was a Republican at the time.
Yikes.
And Trump keeps tweeting about it over and over again. And I'm just
I don't care.
dude, look, when you rag on CNN and Jim Acosta, I'm laughing. I really am. Because I'm these people are...
They kind of deserve it.
Well, it's deserve...
All right, yeah.
They're just bad people who make a mockery of journalism, who are lying all day. And Joe Scarborough has a lot of issues, for sure. He's actually said some complimentary things towards Trump. He's just another guy with his opinion. And it's one thing if Trump came out and tweeted something like, Joe Scarborough said this, he's totally wrong, what a moron, I'd laugh. But when he starts bringing up stuff from 20 years ago about some conspiracy stuff, I'm like, dude, you're not arguing about it. That's what I don't like about the Democrats. They say Trump is bad, Trump is racist, and I'm like, those aren't arguments. That you're not telling me anything.
Right.
So if Trump wants to come out and complain about MSNBC, he's not telling me anything. I don't know what I'm supposed to feel about that. I'm like, I don't know what you think is going to happen with Joe Scarborough.
Yeah, I feel you.
So it's yeah. So anyway, I digress. The main point was Trump has vulnerabilities, and according to the New York Times, his base is bigger than ever. His favorability is way up. And he's got a higher approval rating, or he did, I should say, in the last Gallup poll than Obama and Bush for the same time period.
Wow.
I think Clinton's was higher. But Clinton did dip in a certain period. So that it bodes well for Trump. But when you take into consideration how much people hated Hillary Clinton, you might get a bunch of passive, like we mentioned, like these leftists who don't, these liberals, whatever you want to call them, who don't read the news or anything. And they're just like, no Trump. And so you think about that person and you think about Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump, and they're looking at Hillary going, oh, and they're hitting like Trump over and over again. And then you look at today and they see Trump and Biden, they go, oh, Biden, it's like Obama. Yeah. That's what that dude said on the Rogan podcast. What was his name? Tim Dillon? Was that Tim Dillon?
That was oh crap, I can't remember.
I think it was,
his
right?
name. Yeah.
Yeah, he said people are going to vote for Biden because it gives them nostalgia to the Obama years.
That's
like
why every single time Biden was debating anyone, first thing he would say is, well, when me and Obama were, Obama, it's like every other word was Obama. It's like, stop saying Obama.
Biden-Bama.
Biden-Bama.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. I don't know what we're
That was frustrating.
We'll see what's going to happen. You know, we can speculate in politics all day and night. Thanks for checking out this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. We do the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. If you want to catch the full show, tune in to this channel, subscribe, hit the like button, or check us out on iTunes and Spotify, and we will soon have this podcast up for free on all podcast platforms. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all in the next episode.